Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a get ready with me on the look that I'm wearing today. I recently wore it, I think in a couple of videos. It's just kind of been like my go-to smoky eye. So a lot of you were asking for a get ready with me, so I thought I would sit down and film one for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think it's going to be a long one. I talked a lot in this video because I asked you guys to ask me any questions that you had, whether they were like personal or beauty related. So I did answer some of your questions, but I don't know, I think it's just fun to chat with you guys, but I don't want the conversation to be one-sided, so I would love to hear from you. Make sure you leave me a comment just kind of chatting about the topics that I mentioned, or if you have something else you want to talk about, just because I do like getting to know you guys as well. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's jump into it and I'll show you guys how I got this look. I was going to like do my hair and throw on a nice shirt, but honestly, this is how I normally get ready, and I thought it would just be fun to be casual with you guys and just kind of hang out. So I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. I wish that I had done this sooner when like everybody was talking about the chocolate gold palette, but I feel like better late than never. I wanted to use it in a video because I love this palette. I just realized you can't see what I'm doing because my mirror is right there. I feel like I can't move it because then it blocks like the center of the video, so I'll hold everything on this side this time. So I love this palette. It has so many beautiful metallic colors, and then it also has those like essential matte shades, so I find myself wearing it a lot, honestly. I don't find that I can always get a complete eye look out of this palette. I usually go into other palettes, so I will also be using the NYX Ultimate Multifinish shadow palette as well. I always use this palette when I'm going for like a colorful smoky eye, and I'm going to do like a green smoky eye today for you guys. The first brush I'm using is the Smashbox All Over Shadow Brush. I really enjoy this for just packing shadow all over the lid, and I'm just going to go in with the shade Rollin' in Dough, which is this light color, and just pack it all over the lid to set my eyeshadow primer into place. The matte shadows in this palette are so smooth. They kind of remind me of the Too Faced Chocolate Bar shadows. They're really similar. Honestly, they might be like the same formula, but I feel like these ones are a little bit more smooth, a little bit more blendable. It only comes with the 4 matte shadows. They're all neutrals, so I feel like they are nice to use in combination with like these brighter metallic colors, but I just really enjoy this palette. I feel like it's so high quality. I feel like Too Faced is hit and miss. Honestly, I've had a lot of luck with their products lately. I feel like they are kind of known for being hit and miss, and I wish that they would just kind of focus on the high quality products because some of them are amazing quality, like this one, the Just Peachy Mattes palette, and then you have like a couple fails every once in a while. So I thought it would be really fun to do a Q&A in this video. I don't usually do Q&As on my channel. I don't know why. I usually just kind of film chatty get ready with me's and talk about different topics, but some of you guys have been asking to get to know me a little bit better, and I thought it would be fun to include it in this video. So I actually asked you on YouTube under like the community tab to ask me questions, and I deleted it. I screenshotted a couple of them, so I do have a few. I was trying to edit the post, and edit and delete are right next to each other, so of course I hit delete. And then I also asked you on Instagram, so I do have questions. I kind of read through a lot of them, so I have a good idea at what you were asking. A lot of them were the same, so I'll answer some specific questions, some general questions, but I want to hear from you guys, so give me your answers in the comments below as well. I'm just going to use the shade So Bougie, which is this light brown right here, and use it as my transition color. And then I'm going to go in with this shade, which is Cocoa Truffle, and I'm going to use the Crown brush. This one is their Pro Blending Crease brush. I think I got it in a subscription box, so I'll just use those 2 colors, and then I'll go in with like a green color. So a lot of you guys were asking about Brady, and for those of you that don't know, Brady is my husband. A lot of you wanted to know, how did we meet? How long have we been together? How long were we engaged? When did we get married? And of course, are we going to have children? So I thought I would just kind of kick it off with that. So Brady and I actually met when we were 18. We went to the same college for a little while. I ended up transferring after 3 semesters to a different university, but we did kick off our freshman year at the same college, and we did not know each other. I was from like the Northeast and Brady's from the Midwest, so we didn't know each other at all. And it was like freshman welcome weekend where all of the freshmen come, and I don't know if all schools are the same, but we had like a full weekend before the upperclassmen got there, or like a couple of days, and we just kind of did like different activities. We had orientation and things like that. So I think it was like the second night, and they had this event where basically we all just kind of came. It's funny because Brady tells the story differently. I mean, so basically he said that he was hanging out with his friends and I was hanging out with my friends, and they said, go introduce yourself to someone. So he said him and his friends made a bet or an agreement, I guess, to go find he says, the prettiest girl in the room and introduce yourself, which I don't know, he could have like exaggerated that story to make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun, but I don't know. He said him and his friends just decided to go introduce themselves to the prettiest girl in the room. So Brady came up to me and introduced himself to me and said hi, and of course I was with my friends, so he met all of my friends, and that was pretty much it. I think we like parted ways after that, like after a few minutes, and didn't like talk the rest of the night. So I didn't really think anything of it. Brady says that he had a crush on me, and I feel like I couldn't tell for a little while. Like I didn't think anything of it, to be honest, but we just became friends. We would talk all the time, and it was when Instant Messenger was like really big. We could text on our phones, like obviously, but at the same time, texting wasn't as big as like Instant Messenger. So we would stay up at night and like instant message. I don't know if all of you guys are even old enough to remember that, but for those of you that are, you'll have to let me know what your screen name was in the comments below. I saw that on Twitter the other day, and I thought it was so funny to read everybody's screen names. Long story short, we just started hanging out. The relationship that I was in at the time wasn't a healthy relationship for a couple of different reasons, and Brady was just like my best friend. He was the nicest guy I had ever met, and I wasn't used to that because my last relationship just wasn't the ideal relationship. So when I met Brady and we became friends, and he was so nice to me all the time. He was just literally the sweetest person in the entire world. I feel like it kind of made me think, and the more we talked, the better friends we became, and then eventually we fell in love, of course, and we started dating on Valentine's Day. So it was like 5 or 6 months later, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and we dated for 2 years before we got engaged. So we got engaged when we were 20. A bunch of you guys told me you're actually engaged, so you were wondering like how we got engaged, when we got married, and things like that. We were engaged for about 1.5 years. I felt like that was a good amount of time. Our wedding wasn't anything crazy. We had a really nice wedding. I think we had, I don't know, maybe like 130 people there. I have a really big family, so most of the people there were family. And it was at this venue where we got married outside, and then the reception was right there as well. So it was really nice. It wasn't anything too crazy. I felt like it was the perfect size. Everything was just like really fun, and I loved it. But yeah, I felt like 1.5 years was a good amount of time for us to be engaged. I didn't really do a lot of wedding planning until like the last few months. Like I booked my venue and like the big things, but I don't know, I was actually like pretty easy to please as a bride. Normally I have like a type A personality, so it's kind of surprising, I guess, because I thought that I would be like just kind of stressed out and have to have everything like a certain way, but I really wasn't. I was really just kind of like go with the flow, and you know, it was easy. So I guess, you know, for those of you that were asking like, you know, what's a good amount of time to be engaged and things like that, it's been forever since we were engaged, so it's been a really long time. I know like weddings are so different now, and I guess it just kind of depends on your personal preference. I mean, make sure you have enough time to plan everything, but just enjoy your engagement. I loved being engaged. I thought it was so much fun. It's such like a different time in your life, and it's just like really fun. It can be really stressful, so just kind of like take some time to relax, like get the big things out of the way, like booking your venue and setting your date, but after that, just kind of like spend some time enjoying being engaged. So I'm going to take the NYX Ultimate Multi-Finish Shadow Palette in Smokescreen, and I'm going to take the dark green shadow right here. This one is the matte shadow. I always use this palette when I do like a blue smoky eye, a green smoky eye, what am I doing? A blue smoky eye, a purple smoky eye, or a green smoky eye. I just love it. I've talked about it so much on my channel, but if you're a fan of like colorful shadows like greens, blues, or purples, this is a great palette to own. So I'm just going to take the Sedona Lace EB09 brush and like this army green color and just kind of blend it into the crease. So anyways, we got married about 1.5 years later. I just graduated. Brady actually graduated the year before. He got done with school in 3 years because he worked really hard to get done early. He took classes like in the summertime and over breaks and things like that. So he actually graduated in 3 years, which was awesome because he was able to work for like an entire year full time before we got married. So yeah, we got married when we were 22. We just turned 22. And again, to some people, 22 is like so young. young, and to some people it's like normal. And again, you have kids by 22. For me at the time, like 22 didn't seem that young, but like where I am now, looking back at 22, it feels like we were so young. We always talk about like how crazy it is that we were married when we were 22 because we just didn't know like what we wanted to do in life. Like we just graduated college, or I just graduated college. We just turned 22 years old. So it just feels like it's so crazy like looking back at that, because I felt like we were so young, but at the time I felt like it was like the perfect age to get married. Like a lot of our friends were married. Both of our parents had gotten married young. My mom was like 19 and Brady's parents were young too. So I don't know, it just felt like normal to us. It was just what people did. I'm sure some of you guys were married at that age or even younger, but to me now it's so weird because my youngest sister just turned 22 on Valentine's Day and her boyfriend is a little older, like 23 or 24, one of those. But we're always like just wait, just take your time, relax. Like I can't imagine her getting married now. She's still in school. She's going to school to be a PA, so she has a little bit of time left in school, a couple years. So they're not even planning on getting married until after school. And I'm like always telling her like, don't be in a rush. You have plenty of time. But we did it. We made it work. It's been really great. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was tough those first few years. I feel like marriage in general can be hard. It can be so easy and so fun, but it can also be really difficult. And I felt like at 22 years old, like we were still growing up. We were still learning about ourselves and learning about each other. We had been together for like 4 years at that point, but you're so different from like 18 to like your early 20s to your late 20s. Like things change. So we were constantly like learning about ourselves, learning what we wanted to do. And a lot of you guys were asking me if we have kids, if we're planning on having kids. We would love to have kids. We do not have kids yet. It's funny because when we first got married, we were like, we'll wait 1 year and then we'll have kids. And then 1 year rolled around, we were like, we'll wait 1 more year. And then that year rolled around, we're like, we'll wait another year. So all of a sudden we're like, it had been like 5 years and we hadn't had kids. And we're like, we're just not ready for them. And that's not how we ever thought it was going to be, but we just honestly just weren't ready to have them. We were working like all kinds of jobs in our mid-20s and we were working all the time, like 24/7, because we've always had like multiple jobs, just either trying to like get our ideal job or, you know, we just kept really busy. We always had a lot going on and we could never really see adding kids to that. We felt like it just wasn't the right time and we really loved our lives. We still do. Like we love our lives so much, just the two of us. I know one day when we have kids, it's going to be amazing and we're going to say we love our lives like that. But right now, we just love it, the two of us. We have so much freedom. We have so much time that we can just kind of focus on ourselves and be selfish with our time. I'm going to go in with the shade Holla for $1 and apply that all over my lid. I'm just going to use my ring finger to kind of pack that color on. I feel like these metallic shadows apply best with your finger. You can go in with a brush as well, but I usually just use my finger first to really pack the color on. And I love this like olive green because it has flecks of gold. It's a little bit smoky. It's colorful, but it's not anything too intense or intimidating. So I feel like it just creates the perfect green smoky eye. You know, all of that being said, we are getting to the point where I feel like we're almost ready to have kids and kind of add to our family and expand it. Just because, like I said, life has kind of like slowed down a little bit and we're kind of in a place where we do have more time and we don't feel like so frantic all the time. We were thinking about, you know how I was telling you guys before, like every time our anniversary rolls around, we're like, next year, next year. Well, our anniversary's in May, so we were thinking about like maybe this summer, like maybe think about trying to have kids, but we are actually going to Cancun for our anniversary. That's where we went for our honeymoon. We're going back to like the same exact resort and everything just to celebrate our 7-year anniversary. Zika is still a concern, so if you travel to Mexico, they actually suggest waiting to try to conceive. If you're a male, you have to wait like up to 6 months just to make sure that it's completely out of your system. And I don't know if that's like if you get tested and you have Zika or even if you don't have it. I don't know. It's weird. Like I was just like reading briefly about it. So we figured since we are going to Mexico, like we should probably just wait that 6-month window just in case. We were like thinking about moving our trip, but honestly, we're just not in a hurry. So I'm just going to line my upper lash line using the Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum, which is just a liquid liner pen. I really struggle with doing this on camera, so I'll try to get it, but I'm sure I can't like talk and do it at the same time. I can't do both of at the same time. I was just trying to do it. So let me line my eyes and then I'll be right back. Okay, so let's move on to the face. I'm going to start with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I am going to film an update on my project pan in probably about a week or two. This is in my project pan. I don't know if you guys can tell, I've used up the majority of this product. I'm doing a pretty good job with my project pan so far, so I can't wait to update you guys, but this is my favorite primer, especially for fall and winter. I moved a little bit closer, but it just works so well with every single foundation that I put on top of it. I just feel like there's something about hydrated skin. My skin looks so red today. When I work out in the morning, it does get red and it like stays red. So I'll be using the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and I haven't talked about this on my channel yet for a few different reasons. First of all, when I bought this, I featured it in an Ulta haul a while ago because a lot of people were recommending it to me, so I thought I would finally try it out, but when I bought it, I'll be completely honest, I wasn't really paying attention to what shades they offered. And then the whole like Tarte Cosmetics situation happened, and you know, I don't want to get too much into that because people get like really fired up about it, but I feel like it's just kind of reminded all of us that it is important that brands cater to all skin tones. And I'm not saying they have to have like 50 shades of their foundations or their concealers, but it is important that they make an effort to include more skin tones than just like one selected group of people, if you guys know what I mean. So Catrice does not make an effort to do that, and they're kind of a brand that I put on the back burner for that reason. I feel like they could do a much better job. They are a smaller company than Tarte Cosmetics, so I feel like Tarte has resources to do it better than Catrice, but Catrice could still make an effort, and they don't. They have 3 shades of this foundation, and I just don't feel comfortable like recommending a foundation to you guys when they only have 3 different shades or 3 different options. Same with their concealer. I really enjoy it, but I haven't featured it in my videos just because they do only offer 3 options. So I won't be repurchasing the foundation or the concealer. So the reason I'm talking about it in today's video instead of just like ignoring it completely is because I have been using this and I want to find a dupe. So if you guys have a good alternative for me, please let me know. I figured a lot of you might not know what I was talking about, so I would apply it and show you like what kind of product I'm asking about. A lot of you guys have great recommendations, and I'm going to look for a dupe so I can recommend a dupe to you guys. But in the meantime, if you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. It is a product that I've been using regularly, but I won't be repurchasing it. So I would love to find a good alternative because I thought it might be a good option for the summertime. I kind of feel like maybe I should have just avoided this, not talked about it, and used a different foundation in this video, but I really do want to find an alternative, and a lot of times you guys are the ones that help me find dupes so I can share them with other people. This product kind of reminds me of like, you know how there are certain products that are like pigmented drops? Like I think CoverFX actually makes something like this that I'm going to look into. The only problem is that CoverFX products are kind of expensive, but I do feel like CoverFX does a way better job of catering to different skin tones, so I will spend the money on a CoverFX product if it works like this one. I just feel like this is a really lightweight product that has a lot of pigment to it, so it's been hard to find a good alternative. A lot of foundations, if they are full coverage, they also feel heavy on the skin, and I just haven't really been into like super heavy feeling foundations lately. I like this product because you can layer on a good amount of it. I kind of got into a rut where I was only using Urban Decay's All Nighter. I still love that, it's my favorite, but I feel like I'm just kind of looking for something a little different, something a little bit more lightweight, more comfortable on the skin, and things like that. Okay, so getting back to the questions, Raina Peace 15 asked me, is going cruelty-free harder than you thought? And are you going cruelty-free with your makeup or with all of your products? And Joe Smith asked, which products do you miss the most since going cruelty-free? So is going cruelty-free harder than I thought? I would actually say that going cruelty-free was easier than I thought. Actually, like my 1-year anniversary is coming up, I think in March. I think that's when like I officially decided to go cruelty-free, and it's really been an easy transition, surprisingly. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult, but once I kind of made up my mind to do it, it really wasn't difficult at all when it comes to makeup. I didn't have a hard time because there are so many different makeup brands out there, and a lot of the good makeup brands are cruelty-free. I think it's been a little bit more of a struggle when it comes to drugstore products, and I would say that the products that I miss the most, or the brands that I miss miss the most are drugstore brands. And it's not that I miss any like one particular product, it's just going into the drugstore and being able to like try something or grab something for an affordable price, because a lot of the cruelty-free drugstore brands aren't really sold at like Rite Aid or CVS. A couple of them are, but it's not like you can just walk into the drugstore and grab like all of the new cruelty-free products like you can with like Maybelline or Revlon or CoverGirl. So I would say that's what I miss the most, just kind of going into the drugstore and seeing new collections, because now with like cruelty-free products from the drugstore, I usually have to order them online. So I am going cruelty-free with all beauty products, and I'm trying to go cruelty-free with like all household products as well. I feel like makeup has definitely been the easiest for sure. There are a lot of good cruelty-free skincare brands. There are a lot that aren't, that I would have liked to try, but I haven't. And then hair care has been like the most difficult for me, because I feel like it's hard to find affordable hair care products that are cruelty-free. I used to just go to Target and honestly just like go to the shampoo aisle and pick out something really affordable. But now I have to like order products online. I use Briogeo, and I did use their products before, but I didn't use like their shampoo and conditioner super regularly because they are a little bit more expensive. I would just use like Garnier. I'm still kind of working on like household products and things like that, but I am like really happy with my makeup collection. I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer, and I have the shade Fair Warm. I like this concealer. I talked about it in a favorites video. It kind of reminds me of the Tarte Shape Tape. I feel like I could use them interchangeably. I like this one a little bit better, but it is more expensive, like for how much product you get. The shade's kind of light. I think I applied too much. I haven't used this concealer recently because I've been trying to finish up the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which is not cruelty-free, but it is in my project pan. But yeah, I do like this concealer better than the Tarte Shape Tape, just because I feel like it's a little creamier. And I don't have dry skin, but sometimes around my nose I can get a little dry, and I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape sometimes enhances that. So I feel like the Urban Decay just kind of sits on the skin a little bit better. So Melissa Chicago actually asked me, what's your favorite makeup brand? And a lot of you guys were actually asking me that. You were asking, what's my favorite makeup brand and what's my favorite drugstore brand? So my favorite makeup brand of all time is ColourPop. I just love so many of their products, and I feel like if they were to just release like a couple more, like a foundation, maybe like a setting powder, like staple products, they could be like my go-to brand for everything. I think they're affordable, they're cruelty-free, which is awesome. They have vegan options. They just have so many good products, and they're constantly coming out with new products. So I don't try everything anymore. I try to try the majority of their products, but they're always releasing something. But they have to be my favorite brand. I just applied a little bit more because I have to kind of clean up my eyeshadow. But they are always releasing new products, so it's hard to keep up with it, and my favorites kind of change as they release new things, so I will film an updated video on my favorites. But as for drugstore, my favorite brand has to be e.l.f. I just feel like they release so many good products, and they do have some misses, but they have a lot of hits. I have so many e.l.f. favorites. I did just film a video on my favorite e.l.f. products. I'll link it in the description box below if you guys want to check it out. But I love e.l.f. I think in general they keep it very affordable. Some of their products are a little bit more expensive than like regular e.l.f. prices, but really they have high quality products for a good price, and again, they're cruelty free, which is great. So I usually use the Kat Von D Lock It Powder Foundation, but I have been using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores pressed powder, which I've talked about on my channel. But if you guys missed those videos, I am almost finished with this. So I'm looking for a good affordable alternative. I do want to repurchase it, but I'm really trying to use up products in my collection before I repurchase anything. So I've been testing out the Catrice Prime and Fine Mattifying Powder in transparent, and then I'll be using the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Skin CC Plus Skin Perfecting Brush. I do love IT Cosmetics brushes, but they are expensive. So I just kind of use this to set my foundation into place, and it's an amazing product. Catrice, I'm just like so torn about them, because I feel like as somebody who films beauty videos, like I talk about cruelty-free products because that's important to me, but it's also important to feature brands that really make an effort to cater to all skin tones. And like there's other things that go into brands just being upstanding brands, and I mean there's so much drama around like beauty brands and the beauty community, not just on YouTube, in general, that I feel like, I mean, you could talk about any brand and somebody has an issue with them. So I feel like I really really do need to kind of take a look at which brands I use and which ones I want to support on my channel. I feel like I really do have a responsibility to make sure that I'm supporting brands that are cruelty-free, that are catering to different skin tones, that really have like upstanding values. And it's hard because you don't want to take it too far. Like, you don't want to write off every brand for like every little infraction, but I feel like I said, I focus on cruelty-free brands, but like, what about people? You know, that has to matter too. It's hard to know like where to draw the line, but in the end, like, you vote with your dollar. Like, you're supporting a company when you buy something from them, and which company do you want to support? Like, do you write them off because they post something on social media and they make a mistake? Do you write them off because they have shady business practices? Like, you have to decide, you know, for you personally, I guess, what kind of constitutes a makeup brand that you want to support. I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about more lately, and I want to be like a responsible consumer, and I want to support brands that deserve it. And for me, I feel like it's even more important because I feature products on my channel and I talk to like thousands of people and give my recommendations. So I don't want to give you a recommendation on a product that's good, but the brand is not a brand worth supporting, in my opinion, if that makes sense. I'm not saying like that Catrice is or isn't. It's just something that I've been thinking about lately. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Are there certain brands that you do not purchase because you think that they're shady, that they don't deserve it, that they don't cater to enough people? Or, you know, do you kind of ignore all that and just buy things anyways? I just feel like ever since I've gone cruelty-free, it's something that I've been conscious about because animals are important, but people are important too. So I don't want to be like hypocritical and saying I don't buy from these brands because they test on animals, but I buy from these brands even though they don't care about certain skin tones or groups of people, or, you know, they're rude to their customers on social media. So I don't know. I'm just kind of curious to hear what you guys think. I would love to hear your thoughts. It gets hard because it's like I said, there's something going on with every single brand. So I'm going to go in with the Becca Cosmetics Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. I did hit pan on this, which is awesome. It's not awesome because it's expensive and I don't want to have to repurchase it, but I am happy because it was in my project pan. So I'm trying to use up projects. It's something I've really been focusing on. I'm going to go in with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure, and I'm just going to use this Real Techniques full powder brush to apply it. So Maya asked me, how is your workout routine going? If it's going well, what keeps you motivated? It is going really well. I talked about it in, I'm trying to think what video I mentioned it in, maybe like a different Get Ready With Me, that I started working out with a personal trainer. I go to like a semi-personal private training place where you work out like in a small group with a personal trainer, and I've been going since November, but it's been going really well. I feel like the weight loss is slower than I thought it was going to be. I've lost like 20 pounds, which is great. I don't have like a set goal, but I still have like a lot of weight that I want to lose. So it's going slowly, but I feel like it's kind of like where I think it's going to stay off this time. Like, I've done workout routines and I've followed meal plans where it's come off super, super quickly, but I've also gained it back really quickly. So I think the fact that it's going off slowly is probably a good sign, but I also feel like it could come off more quickly if I was to be even more consistent. Like, I've been working out and I feel like, you know, that makes a difference, but the big thing for me is like eating well. And I eat really well during the week, like Monday through Friday, I do really well. Brady and I just eat like pretty much the same thing every day. We usually like switch it up every other day. But when the weekends roll around, I have a little bit of a harder time because we're like, oh, it's time to like treat ourselves. And it's fine if we do that like once, but sometimes like one meal can turn into two, and then two meals can turn into like three. What keeps me motivated, to be completely honest with you guys, like, I'm paying for it. So it comes out of my bank account every 2 weeks, whether or not I go. I go 3 times a week, and if I don't like make the session, like if I'm out of town, it does roll over, but I still pay for the session. So I have to use it at some point. And to be completely honest with you guys, it's not super cheap. So I knew that going into it because I knew that I needed that outward accountability because I just haven't been able to do it on my own. So the fact that I'm like paying for it every 2 weeks and it's not super inexpensive, it's like a little bit of a sacrifice. Like, I would love to take that money and like go on vacation, but it's important. It's for my health. So I know that I'm paying for it, and that's honestly what keeps me motivated, because whether or not I show up, I still pay for it. So I feel like you have to kind of have like some skin in the game. And I don't really like that saying, but I listen to Chalene Johnson. She has a podcast, and she talks about how like her and her husband do these different like mastermind groups, and instead of giving them away for free to like people they know, they always make people pay, because when you're given something for free, I mean, some people will take advantage of it, but a lot of people won't. She's just kind of noticed this pattern where if you're given something for free, you won't follow through. But if you actually like spend your money on it and you have like that skin in the game or whatever, you're going to take advantage of it and you're going to follow through. And that's how I feel with personal training. And on top of that, like you sign up, they're expecting you, you're there, and I don't know, all of that kind of like adds to like the accountability. But on top of that, when I see results and I feel so much better, like it makes me want to go. While I'm talking, I'm just going to fill in my brows. I'm going to use the Essence Make Me Brow to fill them in, and then I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Dark Brown Brow Powder Duo and just kind of fill them in even more. Brows are not my specialty, you guys. If you're new to my channel, I'm not a brow expert. It's kind of like my area where I really struggle, but this is what I do. It works okay for me. I do want to try a brow pencil again, but I don't know. Right now I'm just using this gel because it locks them into place and it does have fibers in it, so it makes them look a little bit more thick and voluminous. And then I just go in with the powder to kind of define them a little bit more. And I always make them too harsh, but whatever. I get so annoyed because like brows are so big right now, and like if somebody has bad brows, people just like discount them as a person. I don't get it. Like, I hate that brows are like so important, and I know, sorry, I'm putting on lotion, but I know like it's like halfway a joke, but at the same time, it's like they're just brows. Like I miss like those days where brows didn't matter. While that's drying, I'm just going to go back in with the shade that I used for the lid and just kind of blend that on my lower lash line just to kind of tie the look together. But I feel good. Like I just want to have energy. I want to have stamina. I just want to feel good. And when I work out and eat healthy, I feel good. I have energy. I don't feel sluggish or tired or stressed. My anxiety is pretty much gone when I'm working out and eating well consistently, which is crazy to me. And that is reason enough to stick with it for sure. Becky Lee said, hi from Taiwan. Hi, Becky. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I would like to know who is your most trusted beauty guru. And a lot of you guys were asking me who my favorite YouTubers are. So honestly, it's hard to narrow it down because I'm subscribed to so many people. I think I'll film a video on my favorite YouTubers. If you guys want to see that video, let me know. I'm trying to decide if I should do like lesser known YouTubers because there are so many good YouTubers that just aren't like super well known, super popular. So I would love to bring more light to channels that are even smaller than mine, but there are also channels that I watch that are a little bit bigger. So I'll film a video on my favorites if you guys do want to see that. All right, I'm just going to apply highlighter and mascara and then I'll be done. So I'm going to use the Becca Cosmetics Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal, which is like my favorite highlighter. It's so beautiful. And the Wet n Wild, I don't know exactly what it's called. It's like their highlighting brush, and just use this and then also use it in the inner corner to highlight my eyes. It just goes on so beautifully. It's just easy and effortless. And you guys, this is the best highlighting brush ever. I think I'm going to use the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Mildew. I don't think I've ever used this before, but it is like a green shade, so I feel like it would complement my eye look. It's really pretty. I do like the Urban Decay eyeliners. I just feel like they're expensive. It's hard to spend this much money on one eyeliner unless it's a shade that you wear super often, but I really like the ColourPop eyeliners as well. These are really good though. They go on so well. They stay in place really well too. And then I'm just using the Tarte Tartist Lash Paint Mascara. This mascara is so good. And you guys were telling me for the longest time that you loved it. This is what the wand looks like. I hope my camera's focusing so you can actually see what it looks like. It makes your lashes so long. And you guys were telling me for a long time that this is your favorite mascara. A lot of you were, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it. I don't buy a lot of high-end mascaras, I should say. I got this one in a boxy charm. It just makes your lashes so long, but then they're not clumpy at all. So I love it. The wand does hurt a little bit if you like accidentally poke yourself in the eye or you're a little bit rough when you're applying it, but it makes my lashes just look so long. Okay, finishing up with the lips, I'm just going to use the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Aquarius, which is one of my favorites, and then the ColourPop Lippy Stick in the shade Oh Snap. I just decluttered my ColourPop Lippy Stick, so that video should be up, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. Probably Tuesday, I think, because I still have to edit it. Okay guys, that is the end of my video. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did have fun sitting down and chatting with you guys. Honestly, thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me here on my channel. It honestly means so much to me, and I just appreciate you guys so much. You are so kind and supportive, and I'm so thankful for you. I would love to hear from you though, so make sure you leave me a comment, just kind of chatting with me about the things I talked about in this video. I would love to get to know you guys a little bit more and hear your thoughts on these topics as well. But I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.